Shokugeki no Soma, chapter 222. We are in flashback mode with Soma and Megashima. Now, this chapter came out a little later than I expected. I wonder if that's going to be a thing, or maybe that was just a one-time occurrence. But anyway, we start off with a little flashback of Erina talking with Soma and asking him, "Oh, you're going to go speak to Megashima?" And they talk about how he just flat out refused them. But since Megashima just happens to be in the area of Hokkaido, based on for business, they decide to go in person because they really want him on their side, and it would be he'd be a really strong asset to have. But then we find out that Erina tells him, "Oh, you know, it might be a waste because this guy is known as the Shokugeki hater." So we had already known in the past that he wasn't really up much for Shokugekis before, but now we find out he actually hates them. He does not like them at all. So we get into it, and we find out a lot about Megashima's character. And it's a pretty unique character compared to all the other Elite 10s or any character in Shokugeki no Soma. We've always known that all the characters have always been about, oh, I want to be the best cook, I want to see the world, and I want to, improve my craft, and I want to get to the top. And that's always been a huge drive for so many people. And he kind of goes completely against those ideologies and those thoughts and the way he views the world. So we get into the scene where he enters, and we find out that he is known as the ramen boss. And he has perfected ramen. He goes out through all the country of Japan. He's spoken to so many people, so many ramen cooks. He's helped out people who have struggled with businesses, who have almost gone bankrupt. And he's a very caring person, and he almost acts like a father figure to all these ramen shops. He's always been like a nomad, and I think that's pretty awesome. He's so calm, he's muscular, he has that cool looking build, very soft-spoken. He's always just walked around, traveled with his cart, perfecting his craft and learning and creating them based off of his experiences throughout the world and anything. And I'm like, man, this character is pretty chill and legit. And so, he really does care for his clients and the way he helps them out. And you have Yukihira and Megumi, they're trying to convince him to, join. And he's already told them that he refuses. And he tells them, listen, I hate this dog-eat-dog world. I hate competition. And it is kind of like a refreshing statement, because why, to him, he probably hates it that when people do Shokugeki, the winner, runs the person out of town, the person could be expelled, the person can lose your restaurant, and he absolutely hates that. He just wants to learn how to become a better cook by learning off of other people and sharing his food. He wants to help out with his customers, and everyone is always, it's dog-eat-dog world. This company is trying up on that company. That company wants more money, and they want to destroy this company based off corruption. And to this guy, he just wants to serve his customers and help them out with food, and he wants to help out other restaurants be better so that they can serve their customers better. And he heals companies, he helps them out. And the company that he's helping out right now, they have a deep love for this guy, because they talk about how their father had fallen ill and that they almost had gone out of business, but then he came along. He was just traveling through, and he helped them build their craft back up, and he showed them probably different ways on how to work their ramen, how to make it a better taste. And I love ramen. I fucking love ramen so much. And without him being there, they probably would have gone down into the floor. So Megashima, I like this guy's character a lot. He's a badass of the cook, and he's just a really calm, and he's very peaceful person. He's sort of the opposite of Soma when it comes to the competition wise, on how Soma just wants to reach for the top, but he doesn't really care for that. He just wants people to enjoy his ramen. And so he tells them, I never really liked Shokugekis, because in the past people were always bugging me to go against the Shokugeki. So I just said yes. I was like, oh, fine, whatever. But then before I knew it, I was the third seed. And I was like, that's kind of hilarious. You're so skilled and talented, you make it to the third seed without even wanting to, which just shows how powerful this guy is. And it's kind of scary. If he had shown the same drive, the same tenacity that Soma does, would he be a first seat, maybe the second seat. He kind of reminds me of Ishiki. They're kind of similar in those ways where they don't exactly have the same fire or drive to be the best, but they're enjoying the ride. They both love smelling the roses. So in essence, I guess you could say Megashima is kind of similar to Ishiki, but Ishiki will not hesitate to run you into the ground if you dare mess with his cooking style or if he has some type of goal. But Megashima, he just does not like the competition of a Shokugeki on how someone has to lose something in order for you to gain it. He just wants to gain. He gains it by giving, and I think that's really amazing. Now, what's cool is that you see a side of Soma that is kind of different. Like it sounded more like Naruto-ish the way he was talking of his ideology, and I think Soma had to kind of dig deep in his ideology to really convince Megashima to come out and have this and help them out against Central. So he decides to tell him, like, listen, if I can create a better ramen bowl than you, will you join us? And for some reason that fires up Megashima's like, dude, like, what are you talking about? Like, you're not gonna make a better ramen bowl than me. So they end up having a match, and that's what's on stake here. And he just completely destroys him, like, match after match. The drawings are cool because you see him like whacking him with the ramen food and the utensils and the things that are used to help with ramen and cooking and stuff like that. And it's like, I'm like, oh my god, Soma, you're like way out of your league here when it comes to ramen and ramen alone. And Megashima just flat out destroys him. But what convinces Megashima to join is that Soma won't give up, and he keeps fighting. And the way Soma does it is that he talks about his ideology, and he tells him, listen, the reason why I want to do this is because of what Central is doing to others. Because we also get like a scene of Central shaking hands with other businessmen, and the businessmen look really sad because apparently Central's being dirty, you know, that's no surprise. They are being corrupt as hell, and they're forcing businesses to make contracts with them. Otherwise, they're going to mess with their supply lines, pull dirty tricks, and make people almost go to the brink of bankrupt or just running the company to the ground. And it's just so dirty. It's like so annoying. And what he doesn't like what Central's doing is that, listen, a great world for me is how many different people are encouraged to cook, and the more different people that are able to cook and the more different types of foods there are, the happier this world is for me. That's what I'm trying to preserve, and that's what Central is trying to destroy. Very ideologic, and you don't see Soma say that kind of like talk. I mean, maybe you have a little bit in the past, but this time he really brought out the ideology, and I thought that was like kind of cool. And I think it's necessary for him to use that kind of talk in order to convince a guy like Megashima, who's always about he's a peaceful cook. And when he says that, Megashima has this like shocked look on his face, like, oh shit, you're right. They're destroying the world that I want to create. They're destroying the world that I'm trying to preserve as well. And I'm pretty sure that's what Megashima is thinking, because like Soma, he just falls flat. He's just exhausted. So, and Megashima decides to concede that Soma wins, even though he didn't really win. He's obviously a better ramen cook, but it's the fire, the determination that brought Megashima out. And now Megashima kept his word, and now he's going to join them fighting Central, and he's going to give them their all. And we get back to him cooking against Kobayashi Rendu. And I thought it was just really awesome. This chapter was done pretty well with the flashback. It was a necessary flashback. We know a lot more about Megashima, and I like him a lot. He's really cool. He's a really cool character. And now I'm not so sure if who's going to win. I'm still going with Kobayashi. But man, okay, Central can't have another loss, because then the interest would be gone. I've been saying that over and over again. But man, it's going to be a split decision. It has to be a split decision victory. It's going to be a fire match. This matchup is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see how this is going to go. Megashima, you are in my top characters now when it comes to the Elite 10. I like this guy a lot. He's different, you know? He's a breath of fresh air. He's not your stereotypical corrupt or overzealous competitive guy who's always just trying to hit to the top. I also thought it was kind of funny with the competition, and show how arrogant Soma is sometimes, because he says, oh, when I become like #1 in the Elite 10, I'll help out with the ramen companies, the ramen industry. And then Megumin's like, wait, doesn't it make more sense that he becomes the first seat in the Elite 10? And he says, well, then I'll just have to beat him for it too. And it just shows how crass his character is, and that's what we love about him. But this chapter was pretty good. 4.5 out of 5 stars. Hope you guys liked the review, and I can't wait for the next chapter. Vantart out. Bye.